was a special, putting on this show has been a special experience for both of us, and it's moved to several different venues and changed as it's gone. It's part of what we said we would do for the Connecticut Trust for Historic Preservation. The two of us have been photographed for 8 years together, up and down the Naugatuck Valley and throughout spaces throughout Connecticut. We're still doing it, and we've become good friends in the process, and I couldn't ask for a better partner, somebody to shoot with, for whom ego is less involved than anything. We have a good time, and you have to move at a certain pace. I wanted to say a few words. First of all, I hope you take a list of the different pictures, and I hope you make it to the back of the room where there are more, and around this way where there is more, and where Lazlo has, your slideshow is playing there? His slideshow is playing, which is the result of one afternoon we suddenly were up in an attic space and heard these weird noises that we didn't know where they were coming from. And Lazlo had his iPhone and started recording them, and that became the soundtrack that he used to put his pictures to, at least part of it. Yeah. There is also, I want to make you aware that we started out shooting in empty mills. And you go into those empty mills and you can't tell what happened there, because the first thing that happens when a factory closes is they remove all the machinery. And maybe you have one or two pieces. You can't tell what it looked like. And we shot there beginning in 2010, and sometime in the spring of 2011, a miracle happened, and we got invited into the last working brass mills in Brass Valley, a casting shop of American brass on their big factory plant where everything else was closed down in Ansonia, where they poured 3-ton billets of metal. They were trucked up the road to Waterbury, and in Waterbury they turned them into seamless tube in a tube mill that had been put in place in 1900, and much of the original equipment was still being used to manufacture this tube. What were they doing? They were manufacturing tube for the nuclear submarines. It all closed in December of 2013. We went on and continued photographing there after that as they began to take things apart. And the experience of going from the empty mills, not that we hadn't seen factories running before, but going through the empty mills, they were empty spaces where you look desperately. You see Lazlo's wonderful shot with the Christ picture in it. You looked for whatever props you could find. We went from there into a working mill, and I can't speak for Lazlo because we both work for different motivations that we learn from each other as we shoot. But for me, when the factory closed and all the flames of the orange were gone, suddenly I was feeling like I had to be shooting only in black and white. And the grit, and I saw those factories differently. And then sometime in 2015, after shooting in the empty Farrell Foundry and Machine Company down in Ansonia, we went back up the track, and there were flames again. They were taking apart a 500,000-pound extrusion press, the last piece of equipment installed in Brass Valley in 1979, and the last piece to be removed when we were there. They were cutting it into little tiny pieces because you can't put a 500,000 pounds on a truck. You have to cut it down into much smaller pieces, hundreds of pieces. And it took them 3 months to do that. So we photographed them cutting apart that machine, and at least one of those photos is in the back room, and I don't know whether you have any, but yours were in black and white. For me, that orange of the cutters cutting apart that somehow came to me to represent the energy, the grit of work that went into Brass Valley. And that's what I felt, and it changed my photography. I know it changed my black and white photography. So that's really what this show is about. I will be back. I think the date is April 1st, but people need to check
that's
it.
Easter.
I will be back here with a slideshow to tell about the working mills and to tell about that experience, and I hope some of you will come and join me then. There is a book there if any of you are interested in purchasing it. We are here to sell it as well, but that's a sideshow. I hope you enjoy the show, and thank you for coming. And thank you to the library, to Sandy and Margaret and Anne who helped us set this all up and made this possible. Thank you.
And that's it.